My wife had an affair and wanted a payout. But I had the prenup, the proof, and the perfect lawyer. Now she regrets everything. We met in Boston, 2012. I was 27, fresh out of MIT, working insane hours at a software startup. She was 24, in grad school for psychology. Her name was Emily. Emily was magnetic, warm, intuitive, the kind of person who remembered the name of your barista and bought socks for homeless people in the winter. It wasn't love at first sight, but it was close. We took things slow, moved in after 2 years, married a year after that. Everyone said we were the perfect couple. And maybe we were, for a while. I won't pretend I was the perfect husband. I worked 70-hour weeks, especially during the early years when I was building my own tech company. I missed birthdays, forgot dinners, and got too comfortable thinking the stability of our routine meant things were fine. I told myself, she understands. She's with me in this dream. By 2019, my company, tiny when it began in my garage, had grown into something real. We got acquired. I walked away with more money than I ever imagined. We moved into a beautiful home outside of Cambridge. I took some time off work, and we planned for a future that finally seemed settled. But looking back, that's when things started shifting. Emily got distant, less affectionate. She picked fights about small things, where I placed my shoes, how I forgot to buy oat milk, how I wasn't emotionally present. I tried to be better. I suggested couples therapy. She refused. Then came the lies. It started with late-night texts. Study group ran late. I'm helping a friend with a crisis. Innocent enough, until I saw one of the messages on her iPad, the one she forgot to log out of. It wasn't a friend. It was a man named Daniel. Daniel was a coworker, divorced, 2 kids, and from the messages I saw, very not platonic. I confronted her that night. She didn't deny it. I'm sorry, she whispered. It just happened. It felt like someone reached into my chest and yanked out my lungs. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. What stunned me most wasn't the affair, it was the coldness. Like she'd already moved on, like I was an obstacle in her new life plan. Over the next few days, things escalated quickly. She stopped pretending to care. She told me she wanted a divorce, that she deserved a clean break. But then she dropped the real bombshell. I want half, she said. Half of everything. The house, the savings. I supported you through building that company. That was our success. I didn't scream. I didn't curse. I didn't throw things. I just nodded. Then I walked upstairs, shut the door, and sat in silence for 2 hours. Yes, she was there when I was building the business. But she had her own job. We had a prenup, ironclad, or so I thought. Still, something about the way she said it, like she had planned this. Like I was just a stepping stone. The next morning, I called the best divorce attorney in Boston. I wasn't going to let someone burn down everything I had worked for out of entitlement and betrayal. I wasn't just angry, I was awake. Hiring Daniel R. Lockhart was no small decision. The man billed $900 an hour and had a reputation for being surgical in court, cold, meticulous, brutal if needed. But I wasn't looking for someone to mediate peace. I was looking for someone to protect everything I'd built. And Daniel delivered from day one. He combed through our prenup, our finances, our text messages, everything. Good news, he said in our first full meeting. This prenup is rock solid. But she's going to fight dirty. She already hired a lawyer who specializes in emotional arguments. And fight dirty she did. Emily claimed she sacrificed her prime years for me. She said she put her career second to support my dreams. Her lawyer tried to paint a picture of a stay-at-home wife who nursed my ambition with quiet devotion. It wasn't true. She always worked, always had her own goals. And more importantly, I had receipts, literally. Credit card statements showing the vacations she took alone for mental health, gifts she bought that I never saw, and Venmo transfers labeled with to someone named Daniel. My attorney was ruthless. He presented it all. But the worst part? Living under the same roof during the separation process. We couldn't legally kick each other out until the financials were sorted. So every morning, I'd wake up, see her in the kitchen in one of my old shirts, sipping coffee like nothing happened. She'd hum to herself, scroll her phone, occasionally smile at texts I knew weren't from family or friends. It was psychological warfare. But I didn't bite. I kept my cool. I kept records. Every time she made a snide comment, tried to provoke me, I documented it. I was done reacting emotionally. That's what she wanted. What really hurt, though? Her friends. People I'd welcomed into our home. Dinners, birthdays, vacations, turned cold. I'd see cryptic Instagram posts. Real queens don't stay in cages. Men never know what they have until she's gone. She had rewritten the story. Suddenly, I was the villain. And the worst twist? Daniel, the guy she cheated with. He moved into a condo 2 blocks away. Coincidence? Maybe. But I doubted it. I found out from a neighbor that she'd been introducing him as her boyfriend at the local wine bar. weeks after filing divorce papers. Meanwhile, I was quietly planning my counterattack. Daniel, my attorney, not her boyfriend, ironic, I know, suggested something bold. Let's not just defend. Let's go after her for infidelity, breach of moral clause. It's a stretch, but in Massachusetts, we can frame it under marital misconduct. At the very least, it could sway the judge when it comes to asset division. I hesitated. It felt vindictive. But then I remembered the smirks, the entitlement, the total lack of remorse. So I said yes. 2 months later, we were in court. She walked in wearing a cream-colored suit and a fake smile. She looked like the innocent party in a made-for-TV drama. Her lawyer spoke first, about emotional labor, sacrifices, years of invisible support. Then it was our turn. My attorney laid everything bare. Affairs, expenditures, secret bank accounts, even screenshots of her telling Daniel she was just staying married long enough to get what she deserved. The courtroom went silent. She paled. Her lawyer stumbled. For once, Emily didn't have words. And I just sat there, calm, focused, ready. What do you think? Was going after her for infidelity too much? Or was it fair game, considering everything? When the judge recessed for deliberation, I didn't feel victorious. I felt exhausted, like I had spent months climbing a mountain only to find more fog at the top. But I knew one thing. I had done everything right. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't humiliate myself or burn bridges. I documented, planned, protected myself. And now, it was up to the court to decide if that mattered. A week later, the ruling came in. Emily sat across from me at the long wooden table in the courthouse conference room. Her expression was unreadable. Her new boyfriend Daniel wasn't with her, but her lawyer was. Mine was too. The clerk came in with the envelope, and we all leaned in. Then came the verdict. Prenup upheld. She wouldn't get the house. She wouldn't get half of my company payout. She wouldn't touch the stock options, the business assets, or the accounts I had built long before we ever met. She would receive only what the prenup guaranteed, a small lump sum and her personal belongings. The judge also referenced the overwhelming evidence of marital misconduct and an apparent intent to manipulate financial outcomes through deception. The language wasn't scathing, but it was clear. The court saw her for who she had become. I don't know if she cried later. In the moment, she sat still. Her fingers trembled slightly. She didn't look at me. She stood up, quietly gathered her things, and walked out of the room. No goodbye, no apology, not even a glance back. And that was that. I sold the house. Too many memories soaked into the walls. I relocated to Denver, closer to nature, mountains, quiet mornings. I started a new company, just smaller this time. Something I could run at my pace, not the world's. And I started therapy, because even though I won, there was still something hollow in all of it. I had trusted someone with my life, and that trust was weaponized against me. She wasn't always that person, and maybe that's the hardest part to reconcile. I still think about her sometimes. Not with love, not even hate, just reflection. How someone can shift so drastically. How easy it is to become blind to red flags when you're too focused on a dream. A few months ago, I got an anonymous email. No name, just a short message. He's cheating on me now. You were right. I should have never left you like that. I never replied. I didn't need to. I had already moved on. I had my peace. I learned that protecting your heart isn't about walls, it's about boundaries. And protecting your life isn't about revenge. It's about clarity, strength, and knowing what you'll never tolerate again. Was I too cold? Too calculated? Or was I just someone who refused to be taken advantage of? Let me know your thoughts. And if you're going through something similar, keep your head. Get help. Document everything. And never, ever let betrayal define your worth. You're not broken. You're just becoming sharper. Like I did. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.